Today on Dr. Phil, they say their son is like a wild animal.
I ain't going back until you die!
7 arrests.
Why do they keep locking you up?
Shut up! I'm not even talking about that!
7 psych wards.
You can go around and kick my walls in?
Stop mistreating me to the point that it provokes me to do that.
2 clueless parents.
My dad has threatened to blow my head off.
You people are so much a part of this problem. A very concerned mother, Sylvia, emailed me 7 times with each message getting more and more desperate. My son is going to kill us, as he has threatened to do over and over. I am begging you to help us. I feel deep in my soul something bad is going to happen if he doesn't get help soon. Now, Sylvia says she's terrified of her 24-year-old son, Johnny, who she claims is like a wild animal with continuous threats and uncontrollable rage that have turned her life into a nightmare. Now, Johnny was caught on camera during one of his outbursts.
Ladies don't even give a I asked if you were drinking it, and I said no! I can't get nothing done because of you! You shut up!
And here's another incident.
You'll do it. That's what the answer is. I don't even have anybody to talk to.
And here is yet another one.
I'm not sit here. I'm sick of every thing. Neither one of you help me with and you'll do it. And I said
Stop
no.
it.
I can't get nothing done. And you'll do
Okay,
it.
stop the noise. Just stop the noise. Stop the noise. You get it. Imagine living with that dysfunction, terror, and pure chaos on a daily basis. Sylvia says she is so fed up, she is ready to get a restraining order against her very own son. Now, Johnny's father, John, says he has also had enough.
Shut up! When I get the away!
Johnny is a ticking time bomb,
You ain't touch it or I'm gonna break it.
and it scares me to death.
When I'm mad, you better get out of my way and stay out of my way.
I'm terrified of him. He just flies off the handle.
I don't want to done it. I can't even read nothing.
They know exactly what buttons to press to the point I self-destruct.
Don't act stupid, because I'll bust you.
He is like a wild animal when he's in a rage.
Just to get away from everybody.
When I feel like people don't respect me, that really sets me off. I treat people with respect, so I feel like I should get it back.
When Johnny's really angry, he threatens to kill me. He's going to murder me. He has connections, and he can get it done.
Johnny threatens my life. I'll gut you, burn this house down while you're sleeping.
My parents are making a really big deal out of the fact he has all these murder threats.
His rage has gotten him in trouble with the law.
Johnny's been arrested 3 times on DUI. He's been arrested for domestic violence with his father.
I was thinking your I hope you die tonight.
They start picking on me, and I try to defend myself.
Because you never help me.
I take it a step further,
Stop with the
so they call the cops.
I can't even remember how many times the police have been called. He's never laid his hands on me. But where is that breaking point? You don't know.
Tomorrow I'm gonna be in pain, you idiot.
Well, Sylvia and John claim that they have tried everything in their power to help Johnny, including having him arrested and even committing him to psych wards, not once, not twice, 7 different times.
Get the away.
Johnny's anger and rage has been so terrible. We put him in hospitals.
Just shut up.
I've been committed so many times to a psych ward, I started to really think that I was a little bit crazy.
Just stop with the
The last time he actually had to be strapped down, he was in such a rage.
I got a liars on videotape.
He just totally flipped out. It was like an exorcist.
I'm completely normal compared to the people who are in those psych wards. One time a girl came out of her room screaming and slit her wrists, and blood went all over the floor. The fact that my parents put me through something like this, I hold so much anger and resentment against them.
You shut the up.
Johnny claims it is abuse. He tells me to apologize. And I say, Johnny, I'm not going to apologize for trying to help you.
I feel like my parents do have me locked up a lot just so they don't have to deal with me and my problems.
I'm gonna be in pain all day tomorrow.
I've tried everything. Nothing works. I don't know what to do. I can't go on like this.
Johnny says his parents are to blame for his behavior because he says they antagonize him day in and day out.
I blame my parents for my extreme amount of rage.
Neither one of you help me with
For the simple fact that they constantly call the cops on me, they constantly have me arrested, they constantly have me committed.
Johnny will not take responsibility for anything. He never does anything wrong. It's always somebody else.
I don't have a problem. My parents are the problem.
Johnny throws fits every day because he thinks his mother and I owe him the world.
I ain't going back until you die!
You don't leave, somebody will die tonight.
It ain't gonna be me!
Stop it!
Do something!
Johnny, stop. You're making everything worse. It's very frustrating. How can I get him help if he doesn't admit that he needs help?
I fear if my parents don't get off my back, something really life-changing is gonna happen for the worst, and it scares me.
Okay, I'm actually glad that all of y'all are here because I think this is a dangerous and volatile situation, and my goal today is to leave here with a plan and a solution, make your life better. Tell me what it is that these people do. What do I need to get them to stop doing that they are doing or start doing that they're not doing so your life isn't chaotic?
Well, for starters, my dad drinking every couple days and threatening to blow your head off.
So he's drinking and threatening and being confrontational. How about your mother? What does she need to stop doing that she is doing or start doing that she's not doing?
She likes to constantly verbally throw pills and medication in my face, like, you need pills, you need pills, you need pills, and it pisses me off because if I didn't have so much pain and go through all this, you know, I wouldn't be half as angry as I am.
Why do they keep locking you up?
I don't have an answer for that. I really don't. It's like every 2 or 3 months, I'm back in it, and I sit there and think and think and think the whole time I'm in it, whether it's 7 days, 10 days, or 3 days. I'm constantly in there thinking, why am I even here?
Well, now, according to your mother, you said, quote, I will murder you, stab you, gut you. I have connections and will have someone find you, and I won't come to your funeral. According to your dad, he said that you have said, quote, I hope you fall over dead from a heart attack, and I'll spit in your grave. I have boys that will come with machine guns and kill you. I hope you keel over and die. I hope you get throat cancer, have all of your vocal cords ripped out. I will kill you in your sleep. I will break your face. I will force feed you pain pills until you OD. Now, that's what they quote you as saying to them. You do say those things, right?
Yeah.
And that causes y'all concern, right?
Right.
And when you get angry, you start yelling and screaming, and then you start yelling and screaming.
I get backed into a corner.
Did you threaten to beat him up and kill him? I just want to know.
He threatens me. I'm sick of it, John. If you think you can take me out, let's do it.
This right here, these are lies. I just count them as you talk.
And later, he behaves like a wild man, and he's got more insight than the two of you put together. You're in a bad situation when the guy walking around with a machete is the one with his feet on the ground. Sylvia and John recently drove Johnny to a doctor's appointment 2 hours away from home. Put these three in a car for 2 hours. What could go wrong? The argument on their way home was recorded. Listen, and then I want to hear what Johnny has to say about this.
John, just to tell you one thing, better leave when we get home.
I ain't going back until you die!
You don't leave, somebody will die tonight.
It ain't gonna be me!
Stop it!
Do something!
Johnny, stop. You're making everything worse.
Sick in the head.
I'll force feed you pain pills. I'll shove it down your throat with OD, and then I'll make jokes.
You're making jokes in a hole somewhere.
Be quiet,
I
John.
can make the joke now, you alcoholic.
Stop it, both of you.
It ain't the
Johnny, please.
Oh, one-handed.
God.
I'll take my left hand and put it behind my back and I'll you up.
Stop it. Please!
Fucker,
Oh, my
represent
God!
me.
Take this next exit. I want off this next exit.
Okay, how do you feel when you hear that back?
It's terrifying because I don't know at what point he's going to carry through with what he threatens to do. And I'm afraid for him. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose him either to death or in the prison system. Something bad's going to happen.
How are you going to feel when that happens? What's your biggest fear as a mother?
That my son's going to lose his life somehow.
If you don't want me to end up in prison, stop calling the cops on me.
Do you have the same fear that the end is going to come to him?
Yes, I do.
Have you said to your son, and I wrote it down because I thought it was critically important. You said, and I quote, "It would be great if Johnny drove off a bridge."
Yes, I did say that. In anger and hurt. I just can't take it anymore.
You don't say that to your son.
Did you threaten to take him out? Quote, "I will take you out." Did you threaten to beat him up and kill him? I just want to know. I
never threatened to kill him. I threatened he threatens me that he's going to take me out and stuff. I said, let's go out in the yard. Let's get at it right now. I'm sick of it, John. If you think you could take me out on my own property and get me in trouble, let's do it. I said, you're a big man. Let's go. I am tired.
So you never threatened me. This right here, these are lies. I'll just count them as you talk. They're right there. I caught one.
The time that
You've
I told
never
him,
said
the time
that
that I told him,
off.
he was
Multiple
flipping out in the
occasions.
house. I says, leave the house. If you don't leave the house, I was in the back cleaning my guns. I come out with an empty one. I says, listen, I says, I'm going to blow your tires out from underneath your car if you don't get out of here.
Before
he
you
calls
said,
the cops and says I threatened to shoot him. They come to the house. I'm sitting on the back porch.
Drunk.
I put my guns back in there. I had a couple drinks. I'm not a drunk, okay?
You were drunk when I got there.
They come back, called me out there. They grabbed me, cuffed me, kneed me, you know, and the broken back that I have up against my truck and everything, cuffed me.
You know why?
Put me in the car, and I sat there for 20 minutes.
After he
I sat
told
in the
me...
car, looked up there, they turned around, they cuffed him. It's the only time that I've ever been in jail in my whole life, and that hurt me really bad.
That's the only time you've been in jail.
I don't go to jail.
You guys are divorced. You want to take that?
Yeah.
That's the only time you've been to jail.
He's been in
Furthermore,
jail.
when you say
DUIs.
you were going to blow my tires
He's been
off...
arrested for DUI. And
Yeah, but that was 15, 17 years ago.
Okay, so that's still not the only time you've been in jail. So the
Well,
only
I
reason those
forgot
cops
about that. I
mistreated
forgot
you is
about
because whenever you told me you were going to blow my off, you said, if you call
I
the
said I was
cops
gonna
and they
blow
come out,
your-
I'm going to blow their off too. That's what
not
I told
true.
them over the phone, and that's why they treated you like that, because you threatened
lied.
them if they could... I don't have to lie. I'm
What about the
24
time you
years
come
old.
at
I don't
me in
have
the
to lie.
kitchen and I tackled
I don't
you
care
and held
about
you-
any of these people.
I
I don't
held you
have
on
to
the
lie.
floor until the cops got
I don't
there.
have a thing to lie
They
about.
arrested you because you were threatening me. You know, it's my
You
house.
throw
It's my
threats at me,
house.
so I throw them back.
It's my
That's my
house.
self-defense.
I own the house.
I don't care
own
if you
the
own the
house.
house.
You act like you own it. You can go around and kick my walls in,
Well,
bust
stop
my doors
mistreating me
down.
to the point that it provokes me to do that.
John, it's you.
Like, enough is enough.
It
This is
is
how
the
we...
pain.
This is...
All right, time out.
Jesus.
First off, you got to clean your mouths up, okay?
I know, and I'm sorry. but I
Because,
think he
listen, everybody here is a teaching tool, so people at home that might be similarly situated can go, wow, I can learn something from what just took place. What they just heard was beep, 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 beep. So, I mean, it sounds like they're in a traffic jam instead of watching the Dr. Phil show. Now, Johnny admits to saying that he will decapitate his own father. His dad's response? Well, he threatens to kill him right back. We're going to find out why these two are going at each other this way after the break.
My dad and I are constantly at each other.
Nobody ever helps me. Everybody's tired of me.
I fear for my life. I walk around with a close access to a machete.
And later, hey, I get it.
Yeah,
Have I listened to you?
you nailed it.
It hurts to see that happen to your boy.
Sure does.
I'm tired of being threatened, and I'm tired of walking around with a knife to protect myself.
My dad and I are constantly at each other.
Nobody ever helps me. Everybody's tired of me.
they hate each other. John told Johnny before, I wish you would die.
I feel like a time bomb. If he set me over the edge, I'd lay him out.
John drinks to cope with Johnny's behavior.
Get out of my house! It's my house!
I probably wouldn't drink at all if he would just learn how to act like a normal human being.
When he does drink, he picks on Johnny.
He goes into a rage, and he'll start calling me names like bitch or a sissy or I wish you were never born, I wish you would just die.
I have said it'd be great if Johnny would drive off a bridge.
90% of the time, I fear for my life when I'm around my dad. I walk around with a decent-sized knife in my pocket and close access to a machete. He has 2 handguns. So many times he has threatened to blow my head off. He'll literally look at me and say, if you say or do one more thing, I swear to God, I'll blow your head off.
He told me on the phone the other night that, he would slit my throat so my vocal cords would come out.
As a matter of fact, I'm beyond slitting your throat. I should just cut your whole head off. Decapitation.
Okay. Do you recognize that your role in this is not okay? You got to own your part of this.
Sometimes I do try to be calm, and I try to talk to him, and then all of a sudden he'll just blow up.
Okay, so you don't want to own your part of this. How about you? Do you recognize that your behavior is unacceptable?
Yeah.
You said, my parents think I'm a problem, but I don't know why. I made a list of why. Well, you threaten to kill your parents. You call your mom an AIDS-infested blank bitch, piece of blank blank bastard. You call your dad blanking stupid blank blank corny ass son of a bitch. You forge checks. You tell them they owe you because of your illnesses. You swung at cops while fighting with your dad. You've been expelled, put on probation for knife possession, smoking, Klonopin. You've got 3 DUIs, leaving the scene of an accident on 2 different occasions. Failure to control, destruction of property, obstructing a police. I mean, does that seem like problem behavior to you?
Everything has a cause and effect.
And
they're the cause, I'm the effect.
You're saying they antagonize you?
Yeah.
And pick at you?
Constantly.
And criticize you?
Constantly.
Threaten you?
If you keep kicking a dog, kicking a dog, kicking a dog, eventually that dog is going to bite you.
Are those problem behaviors?
Yeah.
Statements?
Yeah, it's a problem, yeah.
You also said, I have no mental illness whatsoever. Not at all. But yet they've put you through at least 10 psychiatrists, 7 hospitalizations, which you said were unwarranted, right?
Right.
But you've also had 7 arrests.
Right.
7 suicide attempts.
Right.
You sleep with a machete, and you say you've become a monster.
Would you feel comfortable sleeping in a house with somebody who's drunk, threatening to blow your head off?
No. Take a look at this. This is a message that Johnny has that his parents caught on home video. He addresses me in this. Take a look.
Enough is enough. Don't open my studio door without permission. When does it stop? For me, it doesn't. It doesn't stop. I hope Dr. Phill can help me. Because if I come back to this house and this continues, there's gonna be blood on this. I'm gonna use it. Don't make me use this. You're a retard. I want Dr. Phill to see all this. If somebody goes at it, I'm walking away. No scratches.
Why am I 24 and I can't get privacy?
So they have violated your privacy.
For years they have.
Okay. And does that seem like a reasonable and proportionate response to you?
To me, yes, because it's either that or get my head blown off.
What bothers me more than what you said and did on the video is your inability to look at that and say, yeah, that's way out of, that's way over the line. That's, if I saw that, I mean, that's the kind of behavior you expect to see when you have a real bad tragedy. Somebody's gone off and done something horrible, and then you find something like that in the background. that is not okay. If that looks okay to you, then you've lost orientation. Let's take a break. We're going to hear from John's current wife, Karen, who says she is so fed up, she's ready to just walk out of the whole situation. We're going to find out why she says John and Sylvia are to blame for Johnny's out-of-control behavior. And she just may have a point. We'll be right back.
He is a very spoiled child.
I give Johnny so much I enable him. I pay for everything that Johnny has. Johnny doesn't need to work. Why should he work? I pay for everything.
Sylvia admits paying for her son Johnny's expenses because, well, she just says she feels bad for him. Karen says her husband John and his ex-wife are spoiling their son so badly that it's crippling him. Look at what she says.
I'm Johnny's stepmother. He is a very spoiled child. John and I have a joint checking account, and Johnny stole checks out of our checkbook and forged checks.
John was going to have him arrested. I said, well, I'll take care of it. Just don't have him arrested. I give Johnny so much I enable him. I pay for everything that Johnny has. Car insurance, car payments, cell phone.
We're getting cars, we're getting money, bought him a $16,000 studio.
Tell you what, John, I'll take you and get your, come on, I'll take you and get your deodorant. I'll take you. I don't want to go nowhere with you. Well, then you won't get your.
I make it to where Johnny doesn't need to work. Why should he work? I pay for everything.
I don't feel like my parents should give me anything. If you want to help somebody, help them out of the kindness of your heart, but don't abuse them and wait till they get locked up or arrested and then feel bad later and then, oh, well, I paid your cell phone bill for you. When I'm in a mental institution and I can't use it, why wouldn't you, help me with something like that before things get out of hand and I get put in a place like this because of you guys?
Where do you think this is headed if something doesn't change?
Death or prison.
Do you think it can get better?
I hope it can get better. I mean, that's all I got is just this little ounce of hope that I hold on to every day. And it's about to dissolve.
You're about to lose hope.
Yeah.
But do you want to know what I think?
Yeah.
Because I've looked at this situation in depth, and your behavior is absolutely outrageous, atrocious, off the charts, unacceptable. I don't ask myself why you feel that way. I ask myself, why not? I get why you feel that way. Just sit right there and let me show you kind of what I think about this. You know, I kind of went back and took a look at what was going on. At age 9, you're diagnosed with Crohn's disease, okay, at age 9. Now, it's interesting that about that time, the outburst began. Because, I mean, you're 9 years old and all of a sudden your gut's on fire. All of a sudden you're sick all the time. All of a sudden you're hurting all the time. And a kid doesn't know what to do with that. A child doesn't understand that. Okay, so then you live with that until at age 15 you have part of your intestines removed. The surgery starts, and gee golly, what? 7 suicide attempts. It starts to build up. You go, my God, you're going to start dismantling my body here. It wasn't enough that I hurt every minute of every day of my life. You're going to now start dismantling me. Okay? So then 7 suicide attempts. And what do you know? Along about 16, somebody comes along and says, oh, well, he has oppositional defiant disorder. He just tends to oppose things. Yeah, really, you do when that's part of your life. So then he starts behaving in erratic ways, knife, Klonopin. Okay, he gets a second commitment here. They say he's depressed. Yeah, bulletin. So what happens? Well, let's see if we can start self-medicating. And sure enough, we get in trouble here, but everything else is going all right, right? Oh, no, forgot. He has to have surgery to remove a tumor from his brain. Okay, so now his gut's on fire. They're cutting out part of his intestines. He's now got a brain tumor that he's got to go through. And so, yeah, okay, now we have suicide attempt number 8. So he winds up here again. Then he winds up there again, and there again, and there again, and there again, and here again, self-medicating. Then he's got nerve damage, okay, because he breaks his tailbone. They say, well, he's a little up and down, you know. He's got some bipolar disorders, and he winds up in the hospital for the 7th time. Yeah, it can get a little frustrating.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it just seems like there's no soft place to fall, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you're right.
Hey, I get it. Do I get it?
Yeah.
Have I listened to you?
You nailed it.
Did I do my homework?
Yeah.
Your behavior's still okay? Now, okay? So all this is going on, and by the way, parents don't sign up. They don't know how to deal with this. He starts feeling inadequate because he can't protect his son. He can't help his son. He doesn't know how to fix it. And so he starts self-medicating and drinking and having rage because he feels like, what kind of man am I? I can't even protect my own son. I can't, they're cutting him up. I can't. It hurts to see that happen to you, boy.
Sure does.
And then you just start barking at each other, and this starts meltdown. That's why I said, I don't ask myself why. I ask myself, why not? How else would you feel? You're getting kicked out of psychiatric hospitals. That's where you put people that do stuff that get kicked out of psychiatric hospitals. And let me tell you something. He's never one time had a chance to get better here because you enablers either let him quit or you blow up and quit. I say your behavior's not okay. You're getting kicked out of psychiatric hospitals. That's where you put people that do stuff that get kicked out of psychiatric hospitals. And they're kicking you out. So I took a look. Here's what happened. Okay, number one, we're back in 06 now. Okay, they say you're in there for major depressive disorder, disposition. They want participation in an OATS program for education. Additional provider recommendations. Strongly recommend antidepressant medication. Strongly recommended for family as well, individual therapy. Supportive therapy, in particular for he and his father. This is what you're supposed to do, but you didn't do it. Okay? Number two, this is in 08. They tell you reason for hospitalization, homicidal ideations towards father, declined starting any antidepressant drugs, but was willing to go through counseling. So they say, let's try to get your mood stabilized. You will not comply. Number three, you're put in again involuntarily. Said, don't be involved in substance abuse. This is in 2010. You're self-medicating. You're using drugs, so you did not comply. Number four, you go in again. This time, discuss with the patient's diagnosis the role of medication and therapy. He does not want to continue. You won't do it. Number five, patient was petitioned by family, subsequently detained, offered psychiatric follow-up, declined. won't take treatment. Number 6, patient and his father also would call doctor, staff, and administration requesting early discharge. Prognosis poor. He can improve if cooperative, if he receives counseling, but you're not wanting to stay. You're not wanting to do it. Number 7, this one was just this year. Approximately 3 or 4 years ago, he was in this place, but he did not agree with the services there, so he quit going. We know that. He has utilized several therapists from different agencies. He did not feel any of the therapists were beneficial to him. He stated he discontinued therapy from all of his previous therapists. John and his father would both then agree for John to discontinue therapy because they did not want him taking medications.
And I didn't just quit.
You people are so much a part of this problem.
Oh, I know.
You are so not a part of this solution.
How do you force somebody to go? How do you force him to go with all this anger and screaming and everything and won't go?
You guys don't get, you are a huge part of the problem here. I'm sorry. I told you I was going to tell you things you didn't want to know. It isn't just me. Every hospital you've been to, non-compliance, 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 non-compliance. Somebody here have some insight besides him. I mean, he behaves like a wild man, and he's got more insight than the two of you put together. And he's God, you're in a bad situation when the guy walking around with a machete is the one with his feet on the ground. Dr. Charles Sophie, sitting right here. Stand up, Dr. Sophie. Dr. Sophie is an LA-based psychiatrist. He's a medical director for the LA Department of Child and Family Services, which is the largest in the entire country. He works with family dynamics every day. And you have a lot to say about the role of these parents, right?
Absolutely. I mean, to make it very simple, you got to get sober, and you got to stop being codependent. You're destroying your kid.
Is your sense that the alcohol here is having an issue with
100%.
Dad?
I mean, he's not able to be the father he probably would like to be or that he needs as a father. But at the end of the day, you're medicating yourself. I know you're in pain. It isn't easy to see your kid like this. We know that. But come on, it's selfish to take the pain away and not help him, and then you're abusing him.
He can't get better if you two continue being part of the problem. So think about that. Now, Sylvia's sister-in-law, Terry, is here. Why she is the only one Johnny says he doesn't want to kill when we come back.
I'm extremely worried about Johnny. I feel that Johnny is 100% capable of hurting someone. I believe that this could happen at any time.
Believe it or not, there is one person in this family who Johnny says he does respect and that he will listen to.
Terry is my favorite aunt.
I'm extremely worried about Johnny. I believe that Johnny is disturbed. I myself am not afraid of Johnny because he will come to me as a source of someone to talk to.
I'd lay down and die for that woman. Nobody in my family even calls me to check up on me.
I personally feel that Johnny is 100% capable of hurting someone, in particular his mother. He has made some very descriptive threats to her.
The most graphic that he's been is just said, "I'm going to gut you," and that just made the hairs raise on my neck. I've never heard that before come out of his mouth. I've never heard anybody say that to me, that he's going to gut me, his own mother.
Unless Johnny gets immediate help, there are lives at risk. I believe that this could happen at any time. It doesn't get any better. It gets progressively worse.
Terry, thank you for being here. You've been watching this whole show, right?
Yes, I have.
Backstage?
Mm-hmm. I fully believe that John and Sylvia contribute to a lot of the issues that Johnny has. I understand that he's had his medical issues and that he's not as mature as he should be, but his dad shouldn't have to knock on the door and say, Johnny, take your medication. Johnny needs to be responsible enough to take his own medication. I believe that they do too much for him. When Johnny wrecks one car, as was stated, his father's right there to get him another one. I believe that Sylvia babies Johnny due to the medical problems, and sometimes he doesn't want to be treated like a child. And I can see why she would do that, because that's just a mother's tendency.
You agree his behavior is outrageous?
Oh, I totally agree it's outrageous.
I wondered if there was ever a moment when you actually were happy or had a smile on your face. And I scrubbed through every picture and every inch of video of you that we had. And in one spot, I actually saw Johnny smile. And it was when you were with Terry. Actual, genuine smiles, which tells me that you do have the ability to feel some joy and peace. And you have talent. He actually does have talent.
Oh, yes, he's talented.
He's very talented.
Thank you for that.
You do. Do you all support him being a musician?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing to do, right? No, and that is different. I mean, I've got a son that's a musician, and it's very, it's very different. I mean, that's my son right there. That's pretty tame, actually.
Okay, now Johnny is shaking his head that he doesn't believe that they support him.
Well, I
To
understand.
which he
but
should be
you have the ability to do it, right? You believe that.
Yeah.
Can you do a rap right now? I mean, you're on national television.
Yeah, no pressure, right?
Yeah. Just several million people. It's okay.
What's it gonna take for me to make it? I'm curious, I'm crying and I'm dying on the inside, I'm serious. I hit you with so many rhymes, I'm leaving you delirious, and I'm verbally attacking the one who's acting the weariest. Cause I don't trust nobody, and I'd hope that you can get it the way I spit it and flip it on these critics who ain't with it. I'm an outrageous psycho, play with me and I might go in and out of my brain like I'm insane, like a night glow. Lyrics burning eternally, true fans won't turn on me, haters wanna kick dirt on me, but I'm eating them internally. Keeping the same mentality, drowning in my reality, so don't be sucking up when I make it like you've been down with me, because you haven't.
Come on, guys. All right, we'll be right back. I've been watching the Twitter feed that's been coming in during the show here. Linda 55 Harris says, sometimes when you can't express yourself with words, you express them through your music. Helen Lusk, 1957, says, mother is parenting out of guilt. He is living by manipulating. Dad is toxic, and aunt is the only saving grace. Fifi Flea says, why are these parents hindering treatment for their troubled son? Is the drama so addictive that they don't want to help? This is sad. I think you need some serious evaluations that haven't been done. I want you to get a multifaceted, from multiple disciplines, workup to see exactly where you are right now. And I want to send you to get those evaluations done. You're going to have to travel to do it, because I want to send you to the best in the country. That's the PNP Center in Dallas, Texas. And these are the best of the best. And at that point, I think you may well want to consider going to a dual diagnosis treatment center to target your pain and give you pain management tools. It may involve medications, it may not. But I want you to say, yes, I will do this one step at a time, until we get it right.
Yes, I'll do it. One step.
And I can't make you comply, but I want you to. Origins Recovery Center is a leader in dual diagnosis treatment. There's a place in South Padre Island that's called Origins, and there is a pain management protocol and a pain management specialist there that I think can change your life dramatically in a short period of time. And you two have as much work to do as he does while he's gone. And we'll talk about that moving forward. Step at a time, okay?
Okay.
All right. I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to Dr. Sophie, the P&P Center, and Origins Recovery Center. We appreciate it. Thanks for being here. John, thank you. Thank you so much, son. Stick with us, man. Sure. Thank you. John, thanks so much.
Today on Dr. Phill.
My husband, Sonny, cheated on me.
The people that I trusted and loved the most did this to me.
The other woman, she's here.
My sister slept with my husband.
I didn't lie, I just didn't tell her. It hurts, and all I do is picture what happened.
Started touching her, started touching me.
I woke up in shock and I ran out of the room.
She didn't run out.
They're mad at each other. I don't care that you're mad at each other. You both did this. I'm mad at both of you.
This seems like a good idea. Why? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by, Dr. Phill.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
In 5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
Go, Dr. Phill.
Doing? All right, you guys are jumping today. I can see that. All right, I got a question for you. How many of you guys have been in a situation where you got rolling along and real early on you got a cue, something's wrong here? Maybe you were dating somebody. Did it happen when you were dating somebody? Yes. And maybe they said something, maybe they did something. You know, I'll just dig a little deeper. No problem. I'll dig it a little deeper. Maybe it got to the point you're actually walking down the aisle. You had it happen. Was it you or somebody you knew? You? Okay, here's our first guest for today's show. No. Did you marry him? You did. You married him. Exactly my point. You just keep digging. My guest today cannot seem to stop digging. Okay? That's what we're talking about. They probably thought marriage would be as easy as 1, 2, 3, ABC. But sadly for them, the A stands for abuse, the B stands for betrayal, and the C stands for cheating. Take a look.
During the entire time that I've been with Sonny, the police have been called over 20 times. When I was just dating Sonny, he was so mad that he kicked in our front door and our bedroom door.
She had locked me out of my bedroom, so I kicked the door down. There was no other alternative.
When I was 6 months pregnant, he tackled me in the hallway.
I am not physically abusive to Caroline.
You don't hit me, you don't push me, you don't pull my hair, you don't flip out.
That's complete. Twice she's hit me in the face. One time she punched me in the back of the head in front of my sister and in front of my kids. She grabs me and laughs.
Yeah, I think I did grab him, and he was grabbing me, and then that's when he flipped me over on the ground.
She'll lose control to where she gets physical and verbal and hits me, and then I'll retaliate with a grab and throw her down.
He pulled my hair and pushed me back, and I flipped over the armrest of the couch.
I hit you in the face on accident because I was trying to block you. That happened 2 times. You're trying to hit me, and I'm grabbing you like this, and telling you to stop, and you bite me in the face. Now I don't grab you anymore. Why would I grab you so you can bite me in the face?
No, you just throw me over the couch
No.
so I get out of your way. So
Yeah,
you
I
can
do.
leave.
I pick you up and I throw you on the couch because you're irate. You're crazy.
Wow. You heard me talking about this at the top, how we see things and just keep going. Did you see things and keep going? Did you see things and keep going?
Sure.
What was the first time you thought, this could be not good?
The time when we were fighting, a little while after we had first moved in together, and front door and our bedroom door were busted down because he was mad.
Now see, there's a clue. That's a clue that there are problems. Did you do that?
Sir.
Why?
Well, she had locked me out of the house. My clothes were being thrown over the rail.
There's a clue. Okay, you've each got a clue. Did you ever at that point think, you know what, I might just want to stop this?
I did. I left.
Oh, but you came back.
Yeah.
You were hardly out the broken door before you came back. Why'd you come back?
He asked me to marry him.
He asked you to marry him. Come on. Why did you ask her to marry you?
It didn't happen exactly per se like that. It was more like we kept talking to each other and it kept building. And, you know, like I'd say I'm sorry and she'd be like, you know, I'm sorry too. And it was just a stupid fight that we totally could have avoided, but it happened.
A lot.
Yeah.
It happened a lot. Have you ever heard me say the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to know what somebody's going to do tomorrow, look and see what they did yesterday. Because I put together, actually you helped us put together a timeline. And I want to go through some of it. Now, you're not going to agree with all this. You're going to have a different version of this. And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter at this point. Because what I'm focused on right now is what your perception was. And this is what you believed, and you still did what you did. So your relationship became official back in July of 12. Weeks later, you say you get in a fight and Sonny pulls your hair out.
I was laying on the pillow and he pulled the pillow out from underneath me because he said it was his couch and he told me and my friend to get off of his couch. And he pulled the pillow out, and when he pulled the pillow, it pulled some of my hair out.
Okay, he pulled a pillow out and with it, some of your hair. Okay. So then you leave. You said, all right, you're not going to pull my hair out. I'm leaving. But then you come back and he proposes. And you say, okay, I'll do it. And sure enough, you guys get married. Now on your honeymoon, the guy that pulled your hair out on the couch, you say, you get in a fight and he leaves you stranded without a car or money for several hours out in the middle of nowhere on your honeymoon. He's pulled my hair out. I've moved out. He's left me stranded on my honeymoon. Let's just get pregnant. January, you're having complications. You say, I need help here. I need to go to the hospital. And you say, will you take me to the hospital, please? I'm having complications here. What did he say?
He said he didn't want to go with me because we were fighting.
Different version. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. This is what's in her bank.
Right.
6 months pregnant, you get in a fight. You bite him. Your 4-year-old witnesses this, and then he shoves you. Okay? You say he tackles you to the ground. You're 6 months pregnant. He tackles you to the ground. Then in August, your daughter's born. Cute as a button. Your daughter's born. Okay, so now we have that involved here. He quits his job. You get in a fight in the car. He's arrested for domestic violence. Right? We know that because we have the police report here. Fight over a purse, hurt your finger. Then, even though you've been arrested for domestic violence, a few months later, you say he throws you to the kitchen floor. Now, this is all your perception. You know all this stuff, but you're hanging in there. And then this happens. And this is a bombshell that not any of this predicted, this was a game changer.
My sister Ashley was the maid of honor at my wedding. In January of 2014, my sister moved in with my husband and I because she was having health problems. When Ashley was living with me, I felt like I finally had someone to talk to cry to have fun with.
Caroline's sister Ashley is a bad influence. I can't stand her.
I never expected that Sonny would have slept with Ashley.
Well, that would be a bombshell in anybody's relationship. But they don't agree on what really happened that night. Surprise, surprise. The details get a little fuzzy because of another letter in the alphabet. Not just A, not just B, not just C, but D, drinking. Take a look.
My husband, Sonny, cheated on me in June last year. I blame both my sister, Ashley, and my husband for allowing that to happen. Ashley said that she does not believe that they had sex that night. He said that they did have consensual sex. I don't even know what to believe. It just seems like so unreal to me. 2 months after the incident, I found out what happened. That evening, my sister Ashley had already been drinking, and then she started drinking whiskey with me.
I got home from work, we started drinking shots, and we had a couple beers.
When Sonny and Ashley went outside, he was touching her leg and rubbing her leg and leaning in close to her like how he does with me. Ashley ended up going into her room and passing out.
I actually passed out on the couch. My wife passed out next to me. Then I got up and walked all the way to the bathroom. On my way to the bathroom, me and Ashley meet up. Ashley had a tank top on, a see-through tank top, no pants. We kind of just started touching each other, and she knew who I was, and she knew what was going on. We had sex in her bed. In the middle of us having sex, Ashley pops up and puts her shorts on and walks outside to the back porch. She looks at me, she goes, "We cannot tell Caroline, you know that, right?" And I'm just like, "No, yeah, I know."
I got out of bed and I noticed that the back porch light was on. And so I went to the door and opened it. He was standing there with the beer in his hand and she was sitting on our patio couch. I knew something was wrong, but I never expected that my sister, Ashley, slept with my husband.
Okay, tell me how you feel about this.
I can't talk about it. I don't like to hear him talk about it. It just makes it worse. The two people that I trusted and loved the most did this to me, and it doesn't seem like they feel bad about it. They're mad at each other. I don't care that you're mad at each other. You both did this. I'm mad at both of you. Why does it matter how they feel? They did this to me.
He says he's getting up and going to the bathroom, and he runs into your sister, who has on a see-through tank top and no pants. And he goes, "Ah, looky here." And he goes after her.
I think that he saw it as an opportunity to drive a wedge between me and my sister because he's jealous of our relationship. So I think that he thought, awesome, Caroline's passed out, I'll just go have sex with her sister. But when he told me what happened, all I do is picture what happened. So it plays in my mind like almost every day. It hurts and I don't want to think about it.
And you say this wasn't planned.
No.
It just happened.
There's no motive for it. There was no intention for me to sabotage her relationship between her and her sister. And again, I hate to blame alcohol, but it played a part. Started touching her, and she started touching me, and...
You say you were drunk, but you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
You knew, I'm in my home, and this is my wife's sister. This seems like a good idea. Why?
What was going through my head was, hey, you know, and that was pretty much it.
And you understand, she tells a completely different story.
I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we're going to hear from her because the other woman, the third person in this love triangle, Caroline's sister, she's here. And she says her memory of what happened with Sonny the night they slept together is very different from his version. She'll be out right after the break.
Caroline's sister Ashley is a woman that has no self-respect.
After I found out that Sonny had relations with my sister, my first instinct was to blame her. Ashley has a tendency to dress provocatively.
The next morning after I had just slept with my wife's sister, Caroline wanted to have sex with me in the morning, and I feel like I was obligated to have sex with Caroline just so she wouldn't think that I was cheating on her. It would just ruin the rest of the day. Sadly, in my heart, I already knew that the day was ruined. I do feel guilty for having sex with Caroline after knowing that I had just slept with her sister.
Do not adjust your set. You heard that right. My guest Sonny admits to cheating on his wife last summer with her sister. A lot of you might be wondering what Caroline's sister has to say about all of this. Well, she's here. And her version of what happened that late summer night is so much different.
My sister's husband, Sonny, is a pathological liar. June of 2014, Carol and I decided to have a barbecue, and we drank Fireball whiskey. Sonny had gotten home and suggested we get another bottle. We ended up drinking 2 bottles of whiskey. After we had been drinking, I was exhausted. Everything was a blur. I remember vaguely stumbling into my room and passing out on my bed, falling asleep with all of my clothes on, and when I awoke, my pants were off. When I did wake up and realize someone was having sex with me, he wasn't in front of me, so I couldn't see who it was. I was very out of it, so I thought I was having sex with my boyfriend. I had turned around. That's when I realized that it wasn't my boyfriend, it was Sonny. I jumped out of bed. I grabbed my pants. I just remember sitting on the back patio, shaking. I was so confused on what happened. And I just sat there and I cried. I did feel guilty. I believed that it was my fault. Now I'm coming to the realization that's not me, it's him. I was assaulted. I never came out and told Caroline that. I never said those words. Till now, I do feel like I was almost raped.
Well, I'm glad you're here. So he says the two of you ran into each other both on the way to the bathroom. Didn't happen that way?
I don't remember that. Last thing I remembered was passing out in my bed.
Well, what do you remember?
I remember falling asleep, and I remember waking up with someone behind me being touched. And when I turned around, it was him. And I jumped off my bed and I ran out of my room and I ran into the backyard.
And you agree that at one point during this, you did wind up in bed.
Mm-hmm.
And you do agree that at one point, she just all of a sudden jumped up and ran out.
Yeah, she didn't run out. She just said, definitely not her boyfriend, and giggled, laughed, put on her pants, and walked out.
Uh-huh. And got dressed and left.
She walked out to the back porch, like she said.
This was in the middle of things?
Yes, in the middle of things.
Yeah. Did you wonder why she did that?
Mm-hmm. I kind of just was like, what? What are you doing right now? And I didn't say that. I was just like, what? After she started putting on her pants and walking out. And then I put my pants on and walked out too.
And so the two of you went out and sat outside.
I walked
Did you
out.
talk about what happened?
Yeah.
Well, do you remember talking about what happened?
I vaguely remember him. I remember him coming out when I was sitting there smoking a cigarette, and he was saying something about Caroline. And then I think about a couple minutes later, Caroline, she was on the sofa and she'd come outside. Or she'd come to the door to come get Sonny.
Uh-huh. Do you remember what you were talking about?
I don't really remember our conversation, though.
Uh-huh. So you went from being passed out to rallying, waking up, getting dressed, going outside, and sitting there. That's a pretty good recovery from pass out drunk to going vertical, getting dressed, walking out back, and sitting down and having a conversation.
I mean, yeah, I woke up in shock. Like, when I came to, I was in shock, and I ran. I didn't know what to do.
So you didn't know this was him?
No.
Yeah. Had your boyfriend been there?
No.
He hadn't been there that night?
No. No. But I stayed the night a lot at his house, so I thought that I had passed out drunk over there. I was literally so drunk, I didn't even realize I was at home.
So you were disoriented as to place and time?
Yeah, I didn't even know I was at home.
You didn't know what house you were in?
No, I thought I was at his. I didn't realize I was in my own home.
Because you thought, okay, so you weren't with your boyfriend that night.
No.
You woke up in bed with your sister's husband that night. You just assumed that you'd somehow been transported to your boyfriend's house and that he was behind you that night. And you woke up in your mind, in your drunken mind, you thought, I'm not at my sister's house anymore, and my boyfriend, who I wasn't with tonight, has somehow entered the picture. And do you believe this?
I looked around the whole house for both of them, and I couldn't find them.
Didn't you lie to her about this originally?
I didn't lie, I just didn't tell her about it.
Well, you didn't say, just had sex with your husband.
My sister Ashley is the person that I love and trust the most, but it hurts that the person that I love the most betrayed me.
Caroline's sister Ashley is a woman that has no self-respect. Ashley is very deceptive and manipulative. I would never choose to sleep with Ashley if I was not drunk. She's ruining my marriage.
After I found out that Sonny had relations with my sister, my first instinct was to blame her. Ashley has a tendency to dress provocatively. If she would have dressed more conservatively, then maybe it might have played a small role in this not happening.
Do you believe this?
I do, because we've been best friends our whole lives, and she goes out and drinks and doesn't know where she is or what she's doing, so.
Because you've been best friends all your life, you believe her because she tell you the truth. She's telling you, you think she's just telling you the truth?
No, because I've seen her that intoxicated before and been in a situation where she doesn't remember what happened and doesn't remember where she is or...
Didn't you lie to her about this originally?
I didn't tell her. I didn't lie, I just didn't tell her about it.
Did you ask what was going on when you went out there?
I kept telling her.
You went out to the patio and you said, what's going on?
Yeah. I was kind of mad because I looked around the whole house for both of them and I couldn't find them. And I'd cleaned up his throw up before I went to bed, got her a pitcher to throw up in. I mean, they were completely just...
Yeah. Charming evening all the way around. But you, when she came out and said, what's going on, what did you say?
I don't even remember what I even said to her. I don't even think I really even said much to her.
Well, you didn't say, I just had sex with your husband in bed, or I was raped by your husband in bed, or anything of the sort.
No.
So you lied by omission.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And what did you say?
Same thing. I didn't say anything either.
Okay, and the next day you were sober, right?
Yes.
You sobered up.
Yes.
And you remembered what happened. You knew exactly what happened, right?
Yes.
So you went to her and told her then?
No, I kept it to myself. I didn't tell anybody.
I'm sorry?
I kept it to myself. I didn't tell anybody what happened.
Okay, so you didn't confide in her then? You didn't say, hey, heads up here, I need to tell you something. I was violated last night.
I
you
didn't
need to know this guy came into my room and violated me last night.
I didn't know how to tell her, and I didn't want to be the cause of any more problems with them. They were already having enough problems, and I didn't want that to be an issue for them.
Our Twitter's blowing up on this. Jeanette Fuller says, if you drink so much you can't remember what happened, you need to stop drinking. At Havens _Mary says, well, Sonny, pointing the finger at your sister-in-law does not eliminate your responsibility for any of it. And at Cobra Girl AZ says, how does one allow themselves to cheat with their sister's husband? That's a double betrayal that hurts like death. Ever since the incident between Sonny and Ashley, Caroline says things have only gotten worse at home. We'll hear just how bad when we come back.
You said, I'm leaving, and I put my hand on your hand. I did not hit you, and you told the police that I hit you. And you pushed me, and I fell down the stairs.
No.
Why would I swing on you with our child in your arms?
Because you're crazy.
I feel like I haven't heard, I haven't given you the opportunity to give me your side of this whole thing fully yet, so I want to do that now. I went through the timeline, and I said it's Caroline's timeline because it's her perception of what happened. I said there'd been trouble. I want to be clear that you dispute some of those things and how they happened, and you've made it very clear in your tape pieces that she aggresses against you sometimes. I frankly don't think that's an excuse at all. There's no excuse for a man to ever put his hands on a woman in anger, ever, for any reason, whatever. But certainly if you're a guy that's our size, I mean, you just can't do that. And you're going to wind up in trouble if you do. But what do I need to know to help this situation? What do you need for me to know?
First of all, I want to let you know that it's not a situation to where I have to put my hands on her and, you know, physically harm her. It's her when she goes to swing on me and me trying to stop her from swinging on me.
Does he restrain you, and when he pins your arms down, you bite him?
Because he doesn't just restrain me. He's, like, forceful about it.
Why is he having to restrain you at all?
Because I'm trying to leave, or if he hurts me, I swing back at him now.
You had an anniversary recently, right? October of last year, you had your second anniversary. Did you hit her in the face?
No.
Did you throw her down the stairs?
No.
Did she kick you in the groin?
No, she grabbed me in the groin.
Did you try to get a restraining order?
Yes.
He got it, but he never served me with it.
It was never served?
No. Because the night that happened, we both poured beer on each other, and then I came inside because you saw a message from a guy that I was helping at the gym asking about Ashley, and you got mad that I changed my code on my phone because you like to go through it whenever you choose to, and you got mad at me and started yelling at me, telling me that I was cheating on you, that I was sleeping with somebody else, calling me names, and you went upstairs and you said, I'm leaving. You had her diaper bag on your arm, and you had her in your arms, and I put my hand on your hand. I did not hit you, and you told the police that I hit you. I did not hit you. I admit to hitting you before, but I did not hit you that night.
So are you saying that you never were banging on your head on the door?
Let me finish. I put my hand on your hand, and I was begging you not to take her, and you pushed me, and I fell down the stairs.
No.
Yes, I know. You will continue to lie about this.
You swung on me.
No, I did not. Why would I swing on you with our child in your arms?
Because you're crazy.
Yes,
You get crazy.
yes.
You get that crazy.
Yeah.
You get to that point
Yeah.
where you just start swinging.
Your whole family protects you. They all sat
What are you
there and
doing here
watched
with
you
Caroline?
threw her down
What are you doing here with
in front of
Caroline?
the entire
The
family.
exact same thing.
I'm not
She's
protecting
here
her.
to defend herself for
Whose
what
chair
happened
is on your
between you
side?
guys.
Whose chair is on your side?
I'll
Your
move it and sit in the
sister's.
middle. I'm not on
It's too
anybody's
late
side.
now. It's after the matter.
I'll sit in the middle. I'll sit back there. It doesn't matter. I can
That
be
would be
behind
nice.
stage.
You'd still be out of the picture.
Perfect.
All right, we know Sonny cheated, but is he a danger? Ashley says yes. We're going to hear why she wants her sister to leave when we come back.
Sonny is a very evil, devious person. Him violating me that night was a plan because my sister does depend on me so much. He was trying to ruin that relationship between us. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he took full advantage of the situation. Sonny is a psychopath. Caroline is very blinded by his love. One day I will see him on one of those murder shows doing an interview with him and locked in jail for killing my sister.
Ashley believes her sister Caroline is trapped in a dangerous marriage and wants her to get out before it's too late. But Caroline says she's not ready to throw in the towel just yet.
After fights, Sonny always made me feel like it was my fault because I would fight back with him. Every time after I fight with Sonny, he tells me that he's sorry and that it'll never happen again. I believe that I needed to work harder to make everything work between us.
I asked Caroline plenty of times to leave him. My parents had begged her to go to a shelter, and she just kept going back.
I was afraid to leave the marriage because we had just gotten married, and I didn't want to have a baby by myself again. I raised my oldest daughter by myself, and I didn't want this baby to be without.
Sonny degrades me and calls me horrible names like bitch and gross and fat. I feel like it's my fault because I didn't lose weight after the baby.
Even after Sonny has abused me and slept with my sister, I want to do whatever it takes to make our marriage work.
Do you want this marriage to work?
A part of me does.
Do you want the marriage to work?
I did.
But now you don't?
No.
And what is it about what she said or they said that makes you not want to make it work?
I thought there was a chance that we could live through this. You know, we could work through this, and just knowing that there's no way that Ashley can be removed from the picture as far as being the husband in our marriage, there's never going to be a marriage between me and Caroline.
Well, what is your ownership in this situation? You said to me at the break, why am I the bad guy here?
No, I believe that I am the bad guy in me and my wife's marriage. But right now, I just feel like the show is just making it to where, you know, Sonny's this, Sonny's that, Sonny's this, and Caroline should leave him for this, Caroline should leave him for that. And there's no Sonny's perception of things.
Tell me what you need to have to balance this out right now. The floor is yours.
It goes both ways. It doesn't just show, it shows Caroline just saying, he calls me this, he calls me that, he does this, he does that. It goes both ways. It's not just me saying, you know, you're fat, you're ugly, you're a bitch, you know? It's not just that. It's more than that. It's her saying, you're being such an A-word right now, and with other profanity words. And then I'm like, well, you're being this. You guys paint me as a bad person. You think I'm a psychopath. You think I'm a lying, cheating bastard.
I know that's not who you are. I just don't know what happened to you. But let's not walk away from each other or fight or hurt each other because it's not worth it. It's not worth it for us to keep doing this to each other, and it's certainly not worth it for the kids to see this because they're two little girls, and then they're gonna want to have a relationship like this. Do you want someone to do that to them? Because I know I don't, and I already see it with our older one, and that scares the crap out of me because they're so precious. Like, why do they have to see this?
Shouldn't.
The dynamic of what's going on here is so clear. It is in flashing red lights. I'm going to turn those on and connect the dots right after the break. The first thing I'm going to do is, Ashley, I'm going to excuse you because I'm going to talk to this couple about their marriage. I thank you very much for being here and shedding your light on all of this, and I certainly hope you two work to repair your relationship and the breach of trust that's here, because I think that's very important. But I thank you for coming. You can go right down this way here, and they'll show you straight out. I have excused Ashley here because this is between you two. It's not between the three of you. You need to listen with both ears to what I'm getting ready to say, because I'm getting ready to tell you some very important things that you're going to want to listen to several times when you get home. So I'm going to put some verbs in my sentences. I want you to hear them real clearly. I agree with some of the things he's saying. You're playing this game with sweaty palms. You're afraid to stand up for yourself. You're afraid to stake out your position in your ground other than in anger. You get mad, you get angry, and when you do, you get out of control, right? I mean, he's right about that part. This isn't, one log won't burn. The two of you fight. That doesn't justify him getting physical with you, but the only time you express yourself is in anger. You're scared here because you've loved and lost before. And you really don't want that to happen again. Because then you didn't lose once, you've now lost twice, and now you've got two, and you can't hold on to Daddy. And that scares you to death, right? What's wrong with me? How do I explain this to them? Doesn't that tape play in your head? And isn't that why you keep putting up with and scared to death this is going to fall apart? Let me tell you, what I fear, I create. And the very thing you fear is the very thing you're creating. You got to have self-respect before you can get respect from somebody else. And you got to respect yourself if you're going to command respect from him. It's not about demanding respect, it's about commanding respect. What your sister did, whether she knew what was going on at the time or not, you can decide whether you believe that or whether you don't. But she knew it afterwards, and she didn't tell you. She lied to you by omission for a month. That's a betrayal. Any way you cut it, that's a betrayal. Do you get that? Yeah. You deserve better treatment from the people in your life. And the only way you're going to get it is when you start giving better treatment to yourself. Sonny, there's a role of the man in the family. You have a job here, and you need to man up and do it. Do not disrespect the mother of your children. Do not disrespect your wife. Do not disrespect yourself as a man by doing things that disrespect the mother of your children and your wife. Because when you say something to her like the things you have said to her, it is at the expense of your character, not hers. You need to learn how to resolve conflict. You need to learn self-esteem and self-worth. You need to learn as a couple to come together and have strength and value each other. You need premarital counseling. You don't need marriage counseling. You need premarital counseling. You don't even know what it's supposed to be. You've got to talk about things like division of labor and how to handle money and sex and jobs and geography and religion and in-laws. In-laws. We got to have some in-law boundaries here. And I will personally make arrangements for y'all to have this, to sit down with y'all to resolve these things and give you a chance to make this work. And if for some reason you decide that it doesn't work, then you will have the foundation to co-parent these children from a position of strength and love. But you are so far from making that decision right now. You haven't been married yet. All you've done is been living under the same roof. You have not been married yet. Give me 90 days. Give me 90 days to really establish a foundation here and then make a decision. Will you do that?
Yes, sir.
I mean really work at it. Will you do that? Will you take that help? Will you do that? Will you do that? Okay, and I want y'all to tell us how that turns out, okay? Now, I want to remind everyone out there about Robin's resources at whengeorgiasmiled.org. It's called the Aspire Initiative, and it's a free curriculum to educate audiences about domestic violence issues, from prevention to safe exit strategies. And the curriculum provides engaging educational materials and interactive content, such as quizzes to encourage group discussions, and there's a lot to find out. And Robin, this is all free at whengeorgiasmiled.org, correct?
Yes, it is. Whengeorgiasmiled.org. It's in English and Spanish, and it is free.
All right, and that's where they can find out about the Aspire app also, correct?
Yes, very proud of the Aspire app. It actually was voted in 2014 as one of the 2 best apps for domestic violence prevention on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, so, and it is also free, and it applies no matter who is doing the violence. So we're not pointing fingers here. We're just saying it's in every situation. Yes. So I really want y'all to think about that. And guys, you can so make this better. You can so make this better. But remember, I said every situation meets a hero. Let it be you. Decide you're going to lead this family right straight where it needs to go. I want to thank all of my guests today. If you're living in a toxic relationship and can't seem to dig your way out, go to drphil.com and I'll tell you how. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.